seems I keep falling, falling. It seems I keep falling, falling. Seems I keep.
You guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. As always, your presence is a present. I greatly appreciate it. If you have not already, click the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if the video is not for you, share it. Go ahead and like it, comment, all of that jazz. Follow me on my social media platforms so that way we can stay connected and all of that jazz. Anyway, so I want to go ahead and get right into it. This video is my review on the Daymond Launch Academy, which is a 3-day workshop. And so I'm going to get into how I found out about it and all of that jazz. Take some pen and paper out and, take some notes, because I'm going to drop some gems on you on things that I learned in the 3-day workshop, just in case you're wondering how it is, or you're just looking for some information on kind of where to get started and all of that. So, where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so I just wanted to tell you guys about the 3-day workshop, so just take some notes and all of that. So after the workshop was done, I had decided that I wanted to do like a video or review on my thoughts and if I thought the class was worth it, just because it is sort of an investment. It is an investment into your entrepreneurship, your business, your knowledge, whatever you're having to pay to get some information. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it is definitely worth it. But when I was looking for videos, because after I took the class, I just wanted to see what other people thought. I was just curious. I really couldn't find any videos on the actual workshop. A lot of videos that I found were just on the initial introduction, when you go sign up and all of that. So I decided just to do a video from my point of view and what I took away from the class, and any information that I can give you all that will help you with your decision on if you think the class is worth it or not. So first, I had found the class on Facebook. I was actually scrolling through and I'd seen the ad off to the side on Facebook, so I had checked it out. And so I know my mom and my stepdad watch a lot of Shark Tank, and they're the ones who actually got me into it. They have their own business. They're really into entrepreneurship and everything like that. And so when I had seen the workshop was coming here, I had sent them some information on it, emailed them to my mom and my stepdad. And so my mom had reached out and was like, let's just go check it out and see what's what. So we decided to go to one of the introduction, I don't even know the technical term for it, but we went to one in Westminster, and so that was cool. It was about an hour and a half. If you haven't been to an event like this, I think some people, and from their videos, no judging, but they were expecting for Mr. Daymond to be there himself, and I knew that he wasn't going to be there. It was just his brand and the teachings and everything like that, which is fine. We're here to get the knowledge. Of course, it's always cool to meet him and meet the man behind all that, but I'm here to gain the information. So they have you in a hotel room. Of course, the guy comes out and they do their introductions, escort you in and everything. And the guy who did the introduction was amazing. He did his whole, I don't like to say spiel, but he did his whole spiel on what to expect, why are you here, being in business, who he is, and what he's learned from it, and from other people who have taken the class and who are now have turned their business into multi-million-dollar business. And so he's giving all this information. Some people, you can kind of tell that they're kind of tapping out because they feel like they're being sold, I think. But you have to be really open when you go to something like this and really take in that information and be ready to receive it. That's why you're here, because you're in a place where it's like, I don't know it all and I do need some help and I need to see, get some information from the pros. You watch the show. He is clearly proven and successful. So me and my mother stayed afterwards, and so the guy who was giving the seminar had told a story about his son, and it was just touching. So of course we were like, oh man, yes. And so I was just trying to get some information after the class, and so my mom had decided that she was going to pay, and it caught me off guard. But of course I felt so blessed for her to be able to invest into me and pour into me, because she's my mother. Of course she's gonna want to see her baby do good, but it's just when someone takes the time to pour into you and it's something that you didn't expect and it just kind of catches you off guard, it's just like, oh thanks mommy, I love you so much. So she ended up signing up for us, and so we had a few different choices where you can go take the class at, and so we decided to go on the Westin Hotel at our airport here in Colorado in DIA. And so it's a 3-day workshop, starts on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I had missed Friday. Unfortunately, I was not able to get off from work, but that was why my mom was able to make it, get me the information that I needed so I could be prepared for Saturday morning. And so we went Saturday morning, and so I have some notes. I may be looking at my notes, so you have to forgive me, work with me, but of course keep your pen and paper ready. So this is some of the material and handouts that we were given at the 3-day workshop. It's a lot of useful information or very valuable information, especially if you're new to business and you don't know where you want to go, what you need to do. There's always a lot of mistakes from first-time business openers. I mean, or those who launch their business, they may not last because they didn't take the time to do the research or the steps to get that business running smoothly and make sure that they're investing their money right. So definitely recommend it if that's where you're at, or you're just not sure, or maybe you've been down this path of business but you're just looking for more information. You can always learn some new things. So so this is the material, so set that aside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and refer to my notes here and let you guys know where we're at. So, and I may kind of jump around, but I'll go ahead and explain a few of the pieces that they went over. I'm not going to go over everything, of course. It was a 3-day workshop, but I'm just going to give you, I took a lot of notes. I went through all of my notes and just took down some of the key things that I think would kind of help you if you're kind of wondering if you should go or not. So one of the questions that he asked is, what is business? The definition in the course so let me explain also. In the class, we're set up in a hotel room, tables, they have your material, there's an instructor who's there, they have a projector, there's mentors that are in the back for later on down in the class if you want to volunteer to do your pitch, just like Shark Tank. And they're the ones that are kind of there to grill you, ask you the questions that need to be asked, or questions that you would be asked if you needed to do your 30-second elevator pitch. So that's the way the class was set up. The guy who was the instructor, loved him. I feel like his name was Chaz, don't quote me to that. Super cool. But he walked around the class, and definitely, you're able to ask questions in the middle of the class. They have, they're going through your book and they have the slides up there, and of course he'll be dropping gems throughout, so you want to have that pen and paper ready to take your notes and make sure you're ready. So back to the question, what is business? So business is marketing and innovation. And so for any of those who are designers, is what he was saying, this is where you would excel if you're someone who likes to design. I think as a designer, you're constantly trying to innovate whatever it is that you're designing. If there's a shirt that you're designing, you have a basic t-shirt, but there's something about that t-shirt that you see that you can change, whether that be a cut, a style, a color, pattern, different materials that are used, a different stitching, anything. So, and I just use fashion just because, but if you're a designer, this is where you can excel when it comes to your business, is always innovating. That's what business is. And so going down my list, on the first day that I went on Saturday, passion can blind you. And so by that, what he means is that we all have not we all, but some of us have these passions where it's like, I want to do this is all I'm going to do, and this is the way I see it, and it has to be done this way, which is good, but it can blind you in a sense that if you're not willing to compromise, or you have to change that idea may seem great, but it may not make sense on down the line. Financially, if there's something that you have to manufacture, you may have to compromise. So you have to just be willing to open up and change, what may make sense and may work for you. Next point, money has a tendency to attract money, and I'm just going to kind of keep going, so if you guys want to keep up, but money has a tendency to attract money. And some of these points, they're kind of in your face the way he delivers it, so it's like, whoa. And I don't know, some people I think can be offended or feel like, well, what is that supposed to mean? I think, when it comes to money is a very sensitive topic for some people. So if you say things like that, like, well, but it's true, money has a tendency to attract money. Next point, broke people hang out with broke people and continuously have broke talk. We're just going to let that sit there for a moment. Broke people hang out with broke people and continuously have broke talk. And so he gave an example as for like, if you're at work, you're talking about broke things, how broke you are, it's the next payday, we're just living paycheck to paycheck. And this is all we're talking about is, just staying broke. You have to change that pattern, or this is what your mind is focused on, is just being broke. Another point that they went over is how to use credit cards and credit to your advantage in your business. Next point, how do you look at money? Are you an amateur or you're a professional? I think a lot of us are amateurs, and so we look at money, we're just brought up in certain ways to look at money this way, and this is how you pay your bills, and you don't invest in that. We don't take the time to really do the research on how we should look at money or how we should change the ways that we were brought up to handle our money. Next point. Business owners tend to dump all of their cash into their business. Cash flow is king. And some of these points I may not touch on. I'm just going to leave it with you. You can just do the research. And so top growth companies he went over is Apple, Amazon, and Starbucks. So maybe if you're looking for some bigger companies to kind of emulate or see how they're doing things, that's a good start. Apple, Amazon, and Starbucks. And if for those of you who are in sales, you want to lean on your customers, get feedback and make adjustments. They're the ones who are driving your business. Without your customers, without your fans, without your audience, where would you be? You have to have that cash flow. So find out if something's not selling or you're hearing things. It's okay to get feedback and be open to take that constructive criticism on your business or whatever it is that you're doing and make those adjustments, because you want to retain those customers, because it does cost more sometimes to reach out and gain a new customer than to keep that one. So just find out what that customer wants and make them happy. I know it's hard. The customer's not always right. I've worked in retail, but then been on the other side. We know, but sometimes there may be a trend that you're seeing and a lot of complaints or things that have changed in your business that you may have to go ahead and change. Humble yourself. That's all. If you are not growing, you are dying. Yeah, Jim, if you are not growing, you're dying. And that's just in life in general. If you're not in business, if you're just kind of in that same routine, it's just like, are you going anywhere? What are you doing? And I know it's not for everyone to be in business for themselves or to be able to try and do things outside of work. For some people, that's okay and they're comfortable, and that's cool. This is just for those that are, trying to get out of that cycle. Next point, successful people buy time from poor people. So me and my mom were talking about this, and she was just saying how you have your 9-to-5 jobs that we go to and we're bought by our time. Though successful people will buy us with our time. I'm giving my time for this. So Jim, okay. Set goals and write them down. A lot of us are on our phones, and I use Microsoft OneNote, I think is what it's called, and I put a lot of notes and I do a lot of writing in there, but I don't actually write a lot. And so I'm working with a life coach right now, and she's actually having me write like a data dump. And I know this has nothing to do with like your goals, but it definitely helps to actually write them down. For me, it helps me to hold myself a little bit more accountable, and it just feels good to write. We don't even write anymore. We're just sitting here typing everything down. So write them down and be realistic when you set your goals. Make, realistic goals and have those small victories, but it's okay. And then you'll build up to those bigger things, and, you'll get there. It's all right. Next thing, the 4 F's: fitness, family, faith, and finance. Have those. Next point, have a crystal clear call to action. What are you telling your viewer to do or your customer? If you're having a sale, of course, it's just a sale, but there's a call to action, and you want to put a sense of urgency, like, through this time now, whatever. And drive revenue without having to be there. Of course, you always want to have that cash flow is king, like I said before, but you want to have that cash flow and not have to actually be there every day the business is going. You want to make sure that money is working for you. Next point, he had a quote that he said is, how foolish is it to pray for something and then resist when it's sent your way? So we're constantly praying for things or whatever it is, you're just wishing or hoping for things to happen, and it comes your way and you just kind of push it away. And a lot of us will pray for things that we're just not totally ready for. So when it comes our way, we kind of put up our walls and we get a little defensive and back off from it. But if you're ready to move forward and you're praying for something in your business, make sure that you're 100% ready to. And of course, you don't know what's going to happen, but do what you can to prepare yourself for when that thing comes, when God blesses you with that. Next point, sales has the power to change conditions. Next point, ABC, if you know that, always be closing. And the next point, some people don't get the picture because they let fear hold the camera. that one was pretty deep to me because I haven't moved forward in a lot of things, this YouTube channel, because of fear. And that's what's been holding the camera, literally and figuratively. But I get in front of the camera and I just let that fear kick in, and I just don't move forward. So, and I don't see the whole picture. There's other things out there, you know, for me, I don't know. I don't want to get too personal, but apply that to your life and see how that fits. And the last thing I asked my mom when I told her I was going to do this video, because she didn't want to be in here, but I asked her, why did you decide to sign up for the class? Like, why was it important for you? Because I always think that you need to know why you're doing something before you do it. So, and make sure you're able to answer that question with the decisions that you're making, especially when it comes to business and your life and moving forward. And her response was that she needed direction for her eBay business, and she wanted to help expose me to other options and an entrepreneurial life. I just hadn't really had a class like that, and her and my stepdad have, and they've been in business. So she just, you know, seeing that I was at a place that I was ready to move forward. So that is why she took the class, and I'm just so grateful to her for, you know, investing in me. That's an amazing thing. That's one of the best things that I feel like, you know, can do, because I'm just going to work every day. It's cool and it's great, but I want to move towards something else for myself. And so I definitely recommend the class. It is an amazing class. When you get to the last day, you are able to sit down with your mentor. There's a mentor there, and they're able to go over what the next steps are if you want to move forward in the next classes that they have. The next class was in Vegas. I just was not able to do it at the time, but I'm still staying on track with what we went over in our session and things that I need to do to kind of get myself rolling. One was business cards. It doesn't matter, just go on Vistaprint, get the free ones. I still haven't done that, so I'm working on my list. Getting my website together, having a crystal clear call to action. What am I doing? What do I want from this business? And side note, I did volunteer to do my elevator pitch while I was in the class, and it was actually on my YouTube channel. And I didn't know my elevator pitch by heart, and so I had it on my phone, and he came up and took the phone away from me, and I was like, oh no, I don't know it by heart. But I hadn't really, it's my passion, definitely. I just hadn't studied it, and so I just kind of, I wanted to get up and just get the experience. That's what I'm trying to say. I just wanted to see what information they can give me based off of what I was able to come with that quick. And it is my passion, but I have no problem compromising. And if there's something I need to change because it just doesn't make sense for my channel, then I want to do what's best for my viewers and give quality, not quantity. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. So hopefully I was able to help with any questions that you may have on the class. No, he is not in the class. So if you're looking to just go meet him, he's not there. And you may want to think, why am I going here if you're just going to meet him? It's just more about the information that you can apply to yourself, your life, your daily life, your family, your business, and moving forward and investing your money right and all of that. So no, he's not there, but it is an amazing class. I definitely recommend it if you have the opportunity to go. It was just an eye-opener. It's just a crap ton of knowledge that I was able to get. So yes. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Email me, anything like that. And yes, till next time, much love, peace, and blessings.